Hello everyone. Hi. The purpose of this presentation is to analyze whether Coty House, a Melbourne-based business, have an overall competitive advantage within its industry. The firm is a cafe that aims to serve consumers an authentic and sensational Japanese matcha experience. Their first store opened at the Chadstone Shopping Centre in October of 2016. And it followed by another launch of its franchise store at Emporium in the CBD on April 2017. To best understand the level of competitive advantage that Coty House possesses, it is vital to critically analyze their internal and external environment alongside the business level strategy implemented. Additionally, it is important to critically analyze the strategy that they have implemented. This is because Mintzberg and Waters quoted that firms can spend years considering their actions. However, once they've enacted, they have firmly committed themselves towards it. In finding this out about their strategy, we will be able to make better informed decisions. I will now discuss the internal environment that Coty House competes within. To begin with, I will discuss the resources that it has, which are tangible and intangible, followed by the capabilities the firm possesses that eventually leads into a core competency. Once these core competencies have been discovered, there is a set criteria of 4 different elements that are required to be fulfilled for the competency to be considered a sustainable advantage. This will eventually provide the company with a competitive and finally a strategic advantage in the business industry. Resources is the foundation for a firm to earn above average returns and can be classified into tangible and intangible resources according to Hayson, Hitt, Ireland and Hoskisson. When it says tangible, it means that it is easy to observe and it is very easily quantifiable. And some elements include the physical resources, financial resources, and technological resources. Whereas on the other hand, an intangible resource is difficult to copy or also known as difficult to imitate. The different types of intangible resources can be innovative resources, human resources, and lastly, reputational resources. Coty House's firm resources that are tangible are its strategically located outlets, which are a physical resource, followed by a private matcha ingredient, which is a technological resource because it is from Kyoto, Japan, and it could be potentially something that they haven't shared with any other competitors and rivals about how they have received and outsourced this product ingredient. On the other hand, intangible resources of Coty House includes an innovative menu that is designed with a matcha twist, followed by a knowledgeable staff that provides excellent customer-friendly service. Now I will talk about the capabilities that a firm can possess. So capabilities are formed through a process of combining tangible and intangible resources as spoken about earlier that belong to an organization. Valuable resources can take a variety of forms, including some that are overlooked by the narrower conceptions of core competencies and capabilities. Core competencies can be defined as the capabilities that eventually turn and become into a source of competitive advantage for a business or entity. Building on the core competence requires sustenance in the long run. Identify the most valuable resources and capabilities using the VRIN framework. I will now discuss Kyoto House's tangible resources that they have available using the VRIN framework. To begin with, I will discuss their strategically located stores. We believe their stores are valuable, rare, and costly to imitate. This is because it is valuable because it is positioned in a high traffic location. It is rare to find any other direct competitors that sell matcha ingredients. Additionally, it is costly to imitate because these stores are positioned in highly expensive and posh locations such as Emporium and Chadstone. Their next tangible resource that I will discuss is their matcha tea ingredient. It is considered to be valuable because the matcha tea ingredient can be found nowhere else across Australia. Additionally, it is rare because it comes specifically from the hills and regions of Kyoto in Japan. Lastly, it is costly to imitate because Kyoto House have an advantage in outsourcing such an ingredient simpler. I will now discuss the intangible resources of Kyoto House using the VRIN framework. To begin with, their innovative matcha-based product range can be considered to be valuable, rare, and costly to imitate. We believe this is the case because matcha-based product ranges are rare to find anywhere else, especially in a menu that serves only one specific ingredient constantly, which in this case Kyoto House does in selling matcha-based products. Additionally, it is costly to imitate because the operation costs would be far adverse and expensive to afford by any normal company that would try to invest in such a venture. On the other hand, the other intangible resource that I will discuss is knowledgeable and friendly staff on offer. We consider them to be valuable, however, not rare and not costly to imitate. We believe they're valuable because they add to the experience of the Japanese culture and the kindness that they have on offer. However, it is not rare to find knowledgeable and friendly staff members across different businesses, as well as it is not costly to imitate.
So now for the external environment, we will be focusing on the industry and the competitors. So now I'll be talking about what industry does Coyote House participated in. By looking at their menu, they offer three product categories, which are beverages, cakes, and ice cream. In order to narrow down the industry, we calculated the total number of items in each category. We can see the beverages category has more than 50 items, which has the highest number of items in the category comparing to ice cream and cakes. There are three related industries, which are cafes and coffee shops in Australia, bread and cake retailing in Australia, and coffee shops in Australia. As the definition of cafes and coffee shop industry from IBIS report is that the industry excludes businesses mainly engaged in takeaway food services. So we perceive Coyote House is in both of the bread and cake retailing and the coffee shops industry. However, as Coyote House is mainly focusing on the beverages category, so we would say the coffee shop industry in Australia would be more appropriate. In order to determine the market attractiveness of the coffee shop industry in Australia, the model of Porter's five forces will be applied. According to the Harvard Business School professor Michael Porter, the model is crucial for strategy formulation by determining the strongest competitive force. We highlight areas of above average return in an industry. Porter's five forces model consists of five different components, which are threat of new entry, buyer power, supplier power, threat of substitutes, and the middle section, which is competitive rivalry. For buyer power, although the switching cost is low, which means consumers can change their consumptions very easily, the buyer group is not set concentrated, and each buyer in the market purchases small volumes relative to the industry sales. So I would say the level of buyer bargaining power is moderate. For the supply power in the industry, the dairy produce wholesaling is one of the biggest supply industry, which also has low market share concentration. It means there are a lot of suppliers, but no industry operator has a significant influence on the market. As there are many suppliers and the switching cost is low, I would say the supplier bargaining power is low. For the threat of new entry, the IBIS report shows that there are a lot of small consumers in the industry. There is no formal qualifications are required to enter and operate in the industry. Franchising agreements allow easy entry to the industry with setup courses covering training, equipment, and outfitting. New entrants can gain market share directly and achieve a position in the market by franchising. As the barriers to enter are low, the threat of new entry is very high. The threat is very high. A substitute product is a product from other industry that satisfies similar needs of consumer as the product produced by the firms within the industry. Restaurants, bars, and convenience stores are the external competitors of, of coffee shop industry. The increasing range and quality of food choices has increased the level of competition of the cafe industry. As each of the five forces grows stronger, it limits the ability of established companies to raise prices and earn greater profits. By Hugh, Jones, and Chillings, 2015. Therefore, we conclude that the competitive rivalry of coffee shop industry is very high and the market attractiveness is not high. For the strategic roadmap, County House has a lot of competitors that offer similar matcha products. From the map, we can see surgery is one of the main competitors because it has very similar price and product strategy. Both of them price itself are selling premium quality of matcha products.
The business level strategy is crucial to develop for each firm in order to decide the competitive strategy it can best suit and further develop upon. There are two overall factors that distinguish each competitive strategy from one another. The first is whether a firm's target market is either narrow or whether it is too broad. Secondly, whether the entity is pursuing a competitive advantage linked to low cost or whether it is to being different through differentiation. The business level strategy that Kyoto House seems to have implemented is the focused differentiation strategy, whereby it targets a narrow consumer segment or market niche. The strategy is aimed at outcompeting rivals with a product offering that meets the specific taste and requirements of specific members in the community. In this case, it seems to be those who love the taste and experience of matcha. Firms that are able to plan accordingly to the competitive forces can develop offensive or defensive actions to remain ahead of the curve and competition. So, is there an overall competitive advantage for QT House? We believe there is, because their tangible resource, such as the organic matcha tea, is sourced directly from Kyoto, Japan. Using this authentic ingredient provides the firm a greater leverage over its other competitors. Additionally, the hospitality exhibited by staff members truly resonates with the Japanese culture of being friendly and at the same time knowledgeable. In conclusion, yes, QT House have an overall competitive advantage in the industry they operate within. Here is a list of the references that we have used. Thank you for watching.